Welcome back to Trots TV. Time to have a look at On Trial this week. And I've had a look at the trials across New South Wales, and I've come up with these three horses that we might follow in the next couple of weeks as they get set to resume. We're going to start with a horse from the trials at Penrith last week. So this was on the 13th of January, and we're going to trial number 3, a horse by the name of Spicy Stride. We didn't see too much of her as a 4-year-old. She only had half a dozen starts. Most of those were in Victoria. She only won the one race, and we haven't seen her since June. But I think off the back of this trial suggests that she's ready to run a very, very handy race. Now, of course, owned by Emilio Rosati. Sent a lot of his horses away to Victoria, but it looks as though there's quite a few on the way back to New South Wales, including this one to Luke McCarthy. She's only lightly assessed. She's only a C3 mare. She wasn't pushed out of the gate in the early stages. Fascinator was driven very hard in the early part of this trial to find the top, but as soon as Fascinator found the top, Luke McCarthy was straight off with this filly Spicy Stride, this mare now, to find the front, and she was able to set the pace. Look, she was asked to find the line. Luke McCarthy really made her work to the line, and the time suggests that she worked quite quickly. She went 1:57.7 for the mile rate, and she was home in 57.7 and 28 seconds. Now, the fact that she was driven out to the line suggests she's not too far away from a return to the racetrack, and I'd suggest as a C3 mare she's going to be able to be well placed by the McCarthy team, and I think she's set for a pretty good campaign. So follow her when you do see her in a race. Spicy Stride, we know how good she was as a juvenile, as a 2- and 3-year-old, and I think she might have found that form again. So Spicy Stride is the first horse on trial this week. Now, another horse that's going on trial is from the McCarthy stable, but not Belinda and Luke's. This is from the John McCarthy team. The horse trialled at Menangle on Friday, and this was trial number 3, Lord Zinzan. This was a superb trial, and you should have a look at this trial in full if you do get a chance on Trots TV. It's well worth having a look. Horse was purchased from New Zealand by connections that raced with Sharkey with John McCarthy. Had a lot of success with that horse. They've had other horses over the time. Blazon and Cullen is another one that the Sitka Group have raced. And I think Lord Zinzan was their next purchase to go and race in the big races. And he looked set to do that when he arrived in Australia. He only had the one start here. He went 1:51.6, winning at Menangle. And John McCarthy was talking about taking him away for some of the bigger races. Unfortunately, there's obviously been an issue, but off the back of this trial suggests that that issue might well be in the past, and he's set for a nice campaign. He didn't show a lot of speed out of the mobile. He dropped out, and he was actually racing 4th in a field of 5 till about the 1,000 metre mark, and then the horse behind him actually made a dash around to the top. So Lord Zinzan dropped out to be last. Didn't really make a move until about the 600 metre mark. John McCarthy really didn't ask the horse to move too quickly, just let it slide up around them, turning for home. He just went into another gear. He was chasing home some very nice horses, and he wasn't put under any pressure to do it. He did it all under his own steam. So I really liked this performance. The times were good, 1:56.2, around a final half of 56.9, but personally he would have been closer to the 56-second mark and up the straight in 27.6. He's a nice horse. He's going to win a nice race in his career. Lord Zinzan, another horse that's going on trial from the week, and that was at Menangle. And I want to take you to Bathurst. The trial's on Monday, and this was trial number 1. We know the filly. She's now a mare, Amaretto. She was very, very good as a 2-year-old. She was impressive as a 3-year-old. Made the Breeders' Crown, and people thought that she was a winning chance in that. Well, how about this for a trial performance? This was supersonic. Now, she has to be pretty close to the mark because she is going to go around in the Hondo Grattan Stakes on Saturday night at Tabcorp Park, Menangle, but she's drawn 1 in that, and we know she's got gate speed. She showed gate speed in this trial. She jumped straight to the front from gate 3, and Ashley Syker just let her run. She did it really comfortably. She carries ahead in a funny way, and she looks like she's really putting in and trying. In saying that, I think she, just going off the look of her on the film, on the replay, she actually looks like she's grown a little bit. There wasn't much of her as a 2- and 3-year-old, but she looks to have thickened up quite a bit. So looking forward to seeing Amaretto resume on Saturday night. Now, she just worked through this, and from the 800 metre mark, Ash just asked her to quicken. She went 1:54.5 for the mile rate. Her last half was super strong. Home in 55 seconds and up the straight in 27.2. So she's gone 27.8, 27.2 her last 2 quarters. And Ash was pretty kind to her. So look, she's drawn well on Saturday night in the Hondo Grattan Stakes. She's got to take on some nice horses like Cruise Bromac and also Kept Under Wraps. But from the good draw, I think she can run a super race because she's got that early speed and she can put herself into a good position. So I think she's well worth an each way ticket on Saturday night. But I think they're going to win some races with her this time in. Amaretto, she's always had ability and looks to have come back in fine fettle. So the 3 horses that are going on trial this week here on Trots TV: Spicy Stride for Belinda and Luke McCarthy, Lord Zinzan for John McCarthy, and we're going to also put Amaretto on trial for Ash Grives. That is on trial this week here on Trots TV. Back again next week to try and find you some more winners.